Hello, everybody. Welcome to Bothering the Band, the podcast where Ryan and Abby ask some of the world's most popular bands some of the world's weirdest questions. The band we have on today is.
We are Ninja Sex Party.
Hello. How you guys doing?
Hey, man.
It's good to see you.
So good to see you.
Sick. How you been?
Doing well, man. Doing well. Just rocking and rolling and keeping going. Same as you,
Yeah.
we'll get into it on the pod, but we see everything you guys are doing and rooting for you, of course. And then the minute we saw the announcement, we're like, well, we got to get him back on the pod.
Oh, yeah. Well, the minute we saw that email, we were like, yeah, of course.
Hello.
Hey, Dan.
How's it going? How have you been?
We're doing great, man. How are you?
Wonderful. Thank you very much. Really, everything's just rolling right along.
For those listening, Dan is rocking a cool Genesis shirt. I like that. That's awesome.
Yeah, man. I saw them on their last tour. I guess it was a year ago already. And Phil Collins made me cry that night.
Oh wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Like
It
personally,
was really spectacular. They're wonderful.
Yeah, dude, I would see that show in a heartbeat. And the shirt is very cool.
Do they do any of like the old stuff? Like the proggy
You mean
stuff?
like the Peter Gabriel era stuff?
Yeah.
A little bit, not much. It's weird. Like, I don't know if you guys have this experience, but sometimes when I see a band live, um, their most uninteresting song on CD or whatever will suddenly hit you the hardest of anything.
Totally.
And that's what that show was. They played Follow You, Follow Me, which I've always thought was the most boring shit in the world. And then that night I was just like openly sobbing listening to. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. It's just that sometimes there's something in the air.
That's the power of live music, though. You go in, like I've seen Pearl Jam 25 times.
You look like the kind of guy who's seen Pearl Jam 25 times.
A 40-year-old white guy. And there's songs that I love and there's songs that I'm like, whatever. And it, like you said, it's one song that will just like pop. I'm like, oh, now I love this song. New appreciation.
We were having a discussion. We just got back from a recording session, and actually, Dan, I think you were part of this. You were in the room. We were talking about this. Is Pearl Jam the best band with the worst name, or is there another contender for the best band with dumbest band name? And I'm not. Okay,
I like the name.
By the way,
too.
we're in a band called Ninja Sex Party, so I'm not really one to throw stones here, but like, yeah.
That's a great question.
Yeah. And you could, by the way, you can like the name, of course.
No, all I was going to say was that what I've been told is that a Pearl Jam refers to like a jam session with musicians where everything goes amazing. And it's just like this one special, unique thing. But I had always imagined it as like a white, rainbowish colored jelly that you'd spread on peanut butter. I don't know why.
I thought it was jizz.
Could be jizz.
That's what I always heard that Pearl Jam was a reference to.
Might be jizz.
First,
Definitely one of those three, though.
Yeah, I think we were narrowing it down.
first quote of the show. I thought it was jizz.
Anybody want to know what it actually is?
Are you gonna say the '90s rumor of like the grandma's jam? Not
Yeah.
jizz. Not the grandma jizz. Yeah, no, I think that was debunked in like '98.
Wait, I don't know the rumor. What's the
Okay,
rumor?
that it was a reference to Eddie Vedder's great grandma Pearl, who married a Native American and had a special recipe for peyote laced jam.
Oh,
I do like the idea of grandmas doing hard drugs. What that reminds me of a little bit? Do you know the band Mad Season? This is not what you signed us
I
up
don't know
for.
this
I
band at all.
apologize.
This is exactly what the show is.
Okay, sick. Mad Season was Lane Staley's side project with the guitarist from Pearl Jam and the drummer from Screaming Trees. And Mad Season referred to the time in England when the psychedelic mushrooms were in bloom, and people would take them and go nuts.
Okay.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
cool. I see
so
the album cover. I know that with the yeah.
I love it. And so that's the kind of thought that some people put into their band names, not so much us.
I think you just hit it on the nose. You're like, this is our band, and it's a perfect band name. I would go back to Brian's question about like great band, bad band name. Dave Matthews Band is a decent band, whatever your belief is, but yeah, not creative at all.
I mean, in a sense, you could say that no one besides Dave Matthews could get away with it. Although it would be great if we started like Dave Matthews Band, and Dave Matthews was just, or like a band like well-known artist and then band, and then they were like, what the
The Dave Matthews Band. There must be a Dave Matthews cover band called the Dave Matthews Band, right?
yeah.
Oh, it has
That's
to.
low hanging fruit. I did. We didn't do this, but a band I was in 20 or so years ago briefly entertained the name Danzig 2 as our band name, but we decided not to go with that for all the obvious reasons. Not that we ever put out so much as a single recording or even played more than a handful of shows, but still, we felt like it was a bad idea. Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Welcome to Bothering the Band with Danzig 2. So, a couple of things. One, I have to say, Brian, you've been on the show. You're one of two people to be in the Three Timers Club.
Oh.
Because you did the show twice now with Dan, and then once the live show on your own. Only one other person has done it. So give yourself a round of applause, Brian. Three Timers
What can I
Club.
say? I'm extremely available. So
You're gonna get a
congratulations to me
smoking
for having
jacket?
nothing better to do. Yeah.
You're gonna get a smoker's jacket, and the other thing.
Who's the other person? You have to say who the other
Actually,
person
you know her. She was on the live show as well. Her name is Danielle Durick.
Oh yes, okay. I remember that.
Singer songwriter. She has a new album out. But yeah, so it's very cool, and I don't want to say honor. It's an honor for us, but also like this is exactly what we want. We want like this relationships. We love you guys, and not only do we love you guys, everyone loves you because Ninja Sex Party was our by far most listened to episode.
Wow.
So much so that
That's wild.
I had someone on the street say something to me. I was wearing a Bothering the Band shirt. I was at a local Greek place. They have musicians there. This kid was playing a cover song. He literally said, I know Bothering the Band. I love Ninja Sex Party.
Oh
And,
wow. That's awesome.
Not unprovoked, I felt for the first time, it's like, oh, you know what I'm doing so much so that you the episodes. It was pretty crazy.
That rules.
You've had some great people on, like Kyle Kinane's one of my favorite comedians.
So funny.
He's brilliant. I didn't know you had Dave Hill on. He actually did a guitar solo on one of our early songs.
Yeah, he's a bud, man.
He's amazing. He did that shredding guitar solo on Manticore many years ago.
And Flula too, right? You guys worked with Flula.
Oh, yeah.
So
yeah, he's a buddy as well.
Yeah, we an interesting fact about the Flula song we did, Self-Care Sunday, is it's Flula featuring Ninja Sex Party. Yet I did nothing for that song. I was in the video, but we thought it'd be more fun to have both of us in the video, so I built it as Flula with Ninja Sex Party so that I could wander around that video as well. But that's all essentially that's Flula plus Danny, and then I got to hang along for the ride.
It was pretty great. Also, Abby, like just amazing sneeze muting technique on your part. Smooth.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Sure.
Sneeze muting. It's a skill.
But yeah, thank you for having us on. Like this is very cool as always.
Well, let's dive into it. And the first question is, did either of you have any Ansel Adams photos in your home growing up?
I don't know who that is.
The answer is I do have a well, okay. The answer is no if you're looking for a yes or no, but
Okay.
but I was a grad student at UC San Diego, where there are some very famous Ansel Adams. He's a famous photographer, Danny. If you look up Ansel Adams UCSD, you can see there's this kind of weird structure, like this multi-tiered thing that's kind of geometric, which was right outside my office door for the entire time I was a grad student there. And people would come by and take pictures of it in homage to Ansel Adams being there whenever in the 60s or whenever he took the pictures of that thing. So no, the answer is no, plus a boring, irrelevant. That's the thing. Yeah, I
It's
think.
really cool.
Yeah. Is that it? Yes.
Oh,
That
wow.
was exactly outside my office. Yes.
Yeah, this very famous photos. I guarantee you've seen them, Dan. My folks had one where it was like 3 and it was the wave crashing over the lighthouse. And we knew all about Brian's college thing, so yeah. We dug deep.
If it wasn't a 70s progressive rock album cover, it probably wasn't on my wall.
Well, what's the weirdest or most like the most different thing you've had on your wall when you were a kid?
When I was a kid, do you know Rodney Matthews? Science fiction artist. And he would do all these cool things. If you look up Rodney Matthews Encore at the End of Time, it's like these aliens playing electric guitars, and that was that was what the type of thing that would plaster around my high school walls for sure.
That's
Combining all my
impressive.
nerd interests at once. That's it. That's it. I
Whoa.
love
Oh
that
yeah.
picture.
Hell yeah.
Oh, that's a perfect representation of you.
Well, you can really see like the
Thanks.
dinosaur laser fight kind of influence from that.
Yeah. He all his stuff is so cool. But it's that very like nerdy, like sci-fi, where like the Venn diagram of sci-fi, rock and roll, and like comic books intertwine.
We just experienced something like that where Star Wars and emo music collided, and it's always good to see those worlds come together, and you're like, oh, okay, we're all just kind of nerds in our own subculture, just figuring it out. I appreciate and love that stuff so much.
Anakin was pretty emo.
Yeah, I was gonna ask with the emo thing. I don't know exactly what you're talking about. What are you talking about, Ryan? I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, you went to a show put on by some famous
Okay, great.
emo.
So it's a thing I shouldn't know what you're talking about.
You should know. Put on
oh.
by a couple famous emo band people in Orlando, where they played the hits and everyone dressed up in Star Wars shit.
But it was a dance party is what it was billed as. And
Okay.
they weren't playing instruments. They were playing songs off a laptop. And then essentially they were like hype men. But you have like 200 people singing early 2000s emos while dressed as, Anakin Skywalker, and
I've had Panic
every
at the
character.
Disco just
Yeah.
stuck in my head for 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys ever, that's for everyone, do you guys ever wake up with songs stuck in your head?
Every
yeah.
day.
Every
Sure.
day?
Every day.
Yeah.
And it'll be something related to something recent, but go ahead.
I would almost go as far to say that most of the music I listen to is because it's repeating in my head in silence, and I just have to get it to stop, and then I listen to the real thing.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. This is so
Totally.
real in my day to day. And my friends are like, you're insane. And I'm like, just bopping around. They're like, what? And I'm like, there's always music up here. It does not stop.
And then I'm sure you have this thing too. This happened to me this morning. I woke up with something in my head and I was like, what is that from? And I just couldn't figure it out it took me about half an hour to realize what it was. In this case, it was a deep cut off George Benson's album Reason, which called 6-4, which has it's kind of an amazing song. It's just the same thing repeated over and over and over and over again, and then an incredible synth solo. And it's really, really great. Yeah.
That's
And
fantastic.
I was like, why? What is this? All I could picture was a real 70s sound and synth and this one groove.
Yeah, and you don't have the whole picture, and you're like, God, I need it. It's something there. Don't leave me alone. I got to figure this out.
Yep.
Okay, okay, fellas, have you ever taken a laxative?
Like today or
Yeah,
ever?
ever. I was
Sure.
going with ever.
Dude,
Yes.
of course, man.
Yeah.
I've got a
Yeah.
sensitive juice stomach. Hell yeah.
Wow. So I've never taken a laxative.
Oh, bro,
How
Oh,
is
they're
that a
you're
dreaming.
thing?
missing out.
I don't think I've ever had a real issue with getting it going.
Well, have you had a colonoscopy?
No,
Okay, well there you go.
not yet.
Oh,
It's
you're also missing out on that because they are choice. But yeah, once you're of that age, Ryan, which you are nearly,
41.
yeah,
Look forward to it.
yeah, hey,
Well, next time we meet in person, we'll do a big routine colonoscopy high five.
Let's go. Yeah, let's
there
go
we go. Yeah.
together. Let's just go to the same doctor. We're like, can we do the same room?
Yeah.
Yeah. Really have fun. Okay. What is your favorite Ron Livingston film?
Oh, I have to look up a picture. I know
I
who you're
think I
talking
only
about.
know Office Space.
Oh, that
I
guy.
think that's
That's a
all I
great
know
one.
him
I mean,
from.
that's a great one. But he's been
Yeah,
in
it's one of my
a
favorites.
ton of shit.
Well, yeah, I mean that's the one I know offhand. Oh fuck, Swingers too. Sorry, I'm looking up his film discography. This is kind of cheating.
No,
Was
no,
he in
it's
Band
fine.
of Brothers?
He was in Band of Brothers.
He was. Oh, that was
Mhm.
good too.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Sorry, I have to look through all these to make sure I'm actually saying my favorite.
Someone just recommended a show he was on that I'd never heard of for like a couple years. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Louder Milk.
That's
Loudermilk.
it. That's it.
Watch
Yeah,
it.
Jim
It's
Roach
very
was
good.
saying it's the best. Yeah.
It's
very
so
good.
good.
Okay. All right.
It's so good.
So-
In fact, we had people from that show on our pod too.
Sweet.
Oh wow.
Yeah, there's a bunch of musicians in the show.
I
And
mean-
comics
Oh,
too.
nice.
Okay, look, I don't looking through this list of Ron Livingston films, I gotta say, although I don't remember him being in this adaptation, is probably tops up there. Who he was in adaptation, I couldn't tell you, but it says he was in it.
I love that film. And I think he's like Tilda Swinton is his like agent. Maybe he's like the manager or he signs his brother or something like that.
Well, his character's name is Marty Bowen, so I'm sure that helps.
Yeah, definitely helps. Ladies and gentlemen, Ron Livingston. He's a big listener. That's why he wrote that question in.
Oh, great, cool.
Okay, at this moment, right this moment, would you rather have to go to a kid's birthday party or a grown-up birthday dinner?
Birthday dinner, grown-up birthday dinner for sure.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. Um, I I guess it depends which grown-ups, you know?
Of course. I mean, that, yeah,
Um,
it also depends on which kids.
That's true. Like if it's my nephews, cool. Like I love my nephews. If it's some random freaking kids, probably not.
Yeah, that you can get in trouble with the law that way for sure.
Yeah, nah,
You don't want to
that's
just show up at random birthday parties.
Well, Brian, you have one kid, right?
I have one kid. Yeah.
Yeah, so I have one kid, and what no one ever tells you is you're just thrust into these situations where you have to go to these like parties, and I
Yeah,
used
that's
to
true.
love making these jokes where someone's like, "Which one's your kid?" I'm like, "None. I'm just here to watch."
Yep.
You know?
Well, I will say the nice thing about kids' birthday parties when it's your kid is kind of they're off doing their own thing. At least past a certain age, it's like the kid can just go play and then you can talk to the. I was at a kid's birthday party not 2 days ago, and it was awesome because Audrey was out playing with other kids, and I was like just hanging out with the adults and talking to them, and it was great. So
Yeah.
there are advantages. But the other thing is if you're at the adult birthday party, that means you've probably arranged childcare. So that problem is also solved.
Yeah. I would say the kids wins for me because of one thing, cake. There's always cake. You know, and if you order multiple pieces of cake at an adult dinner, they look at you weird.
Wait, how much cake are you having at a kid birthday party?
A lot, the most I can have. I think I hit at my niece's like 7 pieces because I'm just like, well, here we go.
Wow, dude. That's
You got all the
incredible.
ones with like the good chunks of frosting and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and because you're bigger than a kid, you can like elbow him out of the way.
Yeah,
into the
better luck
kids.
next year, dude.
Yeah,
Well,
sorry.
yeah,
Get
most of
older.
the time the parents are like, I don't want to take this home. Keep eating. And I'm like, I'll just eat. Don't mind if I do.
That is true. If you hang on till the end, there's going to be leftover cake. That's 100% true.
Yeah. Because they
Yeah.
don't want to take it home.
Ryan gets the first piece and the last piece.
I
Yeah.
do. I'm gonna get out of here, birthday kid. Okay. Do either of you own a Stanley?
Nope.
I don't know what that is. I'm sorry.
Oh, I don't want to tell you. You live in a beautiful world.
See, I also just found out what they were about 2 months ago. I had no idea what they were. And
That's
then-
because growing up, we all referred to them as a thermos.
As a
Oh,
giant
yeah.
white
And
lady.
Those
it
are called
wasn't-
Stanleys now?
That's who makes
it's a
them.
brand. It's a brand.
And who
Oh.
most likely made one that you had in your childhood somewhere.
It's like a construction company originally, right? Or something
I
like
Yeah,
see.
that.
something like that.
Who made the ones that came in lunchboxes where it unscrewed and it was a little cup?
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, like, I haven't had one of those in years, but like, God, how practical and wonderful they were.
They
Right?
were.
So the
Yeah.
Stanleys are all the rage, and it's again. I'm in the suburbs. Every child and mom has a Stanley. Now it's everywhere in the zeitgeist. Where like SNL did a sketch about it this past week or 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, they're very hip right now.
I don't know how they're like Crocs, where you're like you have them. Are you really that into it?
But it's
Mhm.
so bad because like these women are like beating each other up at Target to get
Yeah.
like the last Stanley for their kid. And then some woman was arrested recently for apparently stealing like $3,000 worth of them from somewhere.
Really?
And they opened her
Ooh.
trunk as like 8 Stanleys. But like
Yeah.
it-
I feel
it's-
bad.
I don't get it.
I feel bad exposing Dan to this. Now he's gonna go to like Starbucks or a coffee shop, and he's like, "Bing!"
You're
I
gonna
see
see
the
them
like,
everywhere.
I see
Yeah.
the scene like, bloom, 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 and he's gonna like, "Bother in the bed."
It's a-okay. One funny thing, just because you mentioned Crocs, I just read this the other night. You know the movie Idiocracy?
Yes.
Do you know what I'm going to say?
I
Yeah.
do.
I don't.
But-
Yeah.
The idiot shoes. Oh, I'm not. You tell it.
No, that's basically it. Like, in the movie Idiocracy, Brian, everyone was wearing Crocs because the director had seen them and thought they were the stupidest things ever. And he was like, surely if a society was like reaching its base stupid level, everyone would be wearing these. Never dreaming that 20 years later, everyone actually would be wearing them.
Yeah, that's
So-
very funny.
We did it, everyone.
Mike
We did
Judge
it.
knows what's up.
We did.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm just saying that movie is a documentary now.
Oh.
I know. It's pretty great.
You know
Well,
what's
great.
happening right now is we're having a conversation like when you get together with old friends and you're like, I know what you're gonna say. You get so excited. You're like, oh, you tell it. You tell it. Yeah. This is fun. I have an opinion question right now
Ooh, I love opinions.
for musicians because it came to me. In your opinion, is Lenny Kravitz a respected musician or a hack?
Wait. So are you asking if we respect him, or are you asking if we think other people respect him?
Let's go. Let's try to answer both. What you I mean, I respect him, but I don't think I'm curious in the greater, more so the greater, if he is like revered or if he's like a novelty.
I know so little about Lenny Kravitz that I don't have a coherent opinion of him. I know a little bit here and there. So my personal opinion is non-existent because I don't know enough. I think generally people like him, right? Like, I think generally he's pretty well respected.
Yeah, I have a ton of respect for him. I respect anyone who's a career musician. It's not the easiest life to live, and
Yeah.
it's not the easiest world to be in. And I think he probably gets a lot of flack purely because in his biggest song, one of the rhymes is "I wish I could fly so very high, just like a dragonfly." And I really think that's where like a lot of like the saltiness comes from. But apart from that, like his music's great. He's a great guitar player. He has awesome stage presence and very talented.
What are his big songs? He's Woohoo, is that right? No.
Are you thinking of
I
Blur?
think Blur. Yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah.
am. What am I talking?
Yeah.
No, doesn't
Lenny
it?
Kravitz, his biggest hit was probably "Are You Gonna Go My Way?"
Are you gonna go my way? The fly
Fly
song.
Which song?
Away.
What song am I thinking about? I might be
He has
thinking
a
about something
slow
else.
song too.
Um, I knew him the first time I
American
heard
Woman,
him.
didn't he cover that?
He did cover
Oh
that.
yeah, yep.
Yep.
American Woman. He did. "Let Love Rule" was his
Oh.
first like big hit.
Yeah.
Did you say "Fly Away"? Is that what you said already?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, that's the one. Why I was thinking that was called "Woohoo." I don't know, but yes.
My one beef with him is that the sheer shirt thing is done. Stop. Stop. Did anybody see him at the Grammys the other night? I just want to be like,
I
look,
did not.
it's 1999. It's not 1999. Like, just, but that's his thing. And so you have to respect him for it. But like, I know more about his nipples than I do my own at this point.
And his wiener too. His wiener flopped out at a show.
Oh, that's right. He's 59.
Yeah, I have seen
Wow,
his
I didn't
dick.
realize. Wow, that's
Huh.
Yeah.
he's been around
These
for a
things
long
happen.
time. Yeah.
These things happen. I like both of your answers because I would say if you talk to like a music snob, like someone who's not a musician but a music snob, like a vinyl dickhead, they'd be like, "Oh, Lenny Kravitz, he's pop, blah blah, more celebrity than musician." But I think you're right, and I agree. Then I'm like, I don't know much about other than the hits and the celebrity and the gossip and the People magazine stuff and his dick. But I'm like, good for him, man.
That was a good
Like,
good
if-
expression there when you said his dick, Ryan. I
If
really
I
enjoyed
could, if I could rock a sheer shirt at 59 years old, you bet
Oh,
your
dude.
ass. I can't do
Well,
it.
I think any band that is massively popular is obviously doing something right, and the snobs can basically go fuck themselves, like it or don't. But calling people like that hacks is, I think, pretty loaded. And probably if you actually sat down and really listened to the catalog, you would find a lot to like. I find that's true for almost anybody. Might not be your personal taste, but it's hard to really totally write off massively popular acts if you're being honest.
Of course.
I want to
of
bring back
course.
sheer pants. Was that ever a thing?
I mean, it is on the next Ninja Sex Party video.
It is now.
Time to start. Yeah.
You have your like R-rated version and then like your like YouTube approved one with like a blur over it.
Oh man, YouTube's getting way more prudish than they used to be. To the point where like on Game Grumps, whenever we have to blur out anything, it has to be like fully, like the whole screen gets blurred. So which is a shame. I know.
Yeah, they pulled a comedian's like monetizing option because he says the word cunt, but it's not, he doesn't call anyone a cunt. He's just like talking about how it's it means different things in England and here. And yeah, it's like, what the fuck? Come on. It's all algorithm shit, so you don't know the context.
Mm-hmm.
It's true. And it is funny because in other parts of the world that gets thrown around all the time, no problem. And when I was growing up, that was like the one word you do not say. Like, so it's, well, not the one word, but like top three for sure. So it's like,
let's go through those words. Say those words. Let's list those words.
Let's get them clean. Really, just
I'm
say
glad
it.
you
Here, we'll
asked.
be quiet. Yeah.
I'm sure you'll be able to get AI to use my voice to say anything. So no problem.
Done.
Yeah,
Done
exactly.
and done. Do you guys reuse Ziploc bags?
Oh, hell yeah. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Wash them.
Oh, that
dry
makes me
'em.
so happy.
Yeah.
That makes
We
me
actually we try not to use Ziploc bags almost at all anymore. We have these more durable, like, it's some other some other material, some kind of polymer or something that is, a little thicker and easier to use. And we use them and wash them, and, it's a regular part now because I hated throwing plastic out constantly.
unless it gets like sticky, then I'm reusing it all the time.
Well, that's right. Unless you put something in it that's sticky or very, very aromatic.
Like
Mhm.
Pearl
You
Jam.
know, that's exactly,
Yeah.
yes, exactly right.
Yeah, correct. You got to let that one go.
Yeah, that's right. Unfortunately.
What kind of Ziploc bag? What do you have in Ziploc bags right now? Do you know?
I don't know. All I know is that in my kitchen, I don't throw them away. I place them on the table, and then they mysteriously disappear to be used again somewhere. So I don't know what the process is. I just know that like I do my part in recycling by just leaving it in a place where it can easily be found um, by my spouse, and then that's it.
I'm just writing down subconscious Ziploc bags. Oh, future Ryan will know what that means. Okay, you guys are smart people, and we're just trying to figure this out. No one's given us a good answer. Why do some towns have water towers and some don't?
Oh, that is a good question, isn't it? I think it's purely aesthetics. It's like what
Yeah, I
looks
think it's a
cool
status symbol.
in that environment. It must have something to do with where the reservoir for the town is or something like that. I don't know. Yeah, I don't have a good answer.
I think it's just a huge fuck you to the neighboring town that doesn't have water.
Mm-hmm.
Or
Oh
a
yeah,
tower?
I like that.
Yeah, look at this big thing we got. We put welcome to Sheboygan up here.
It's also
Yeah.
interesting. I understand why they do it, but it's like getting the water up there can't be easy, right? And it's really heavy. I've always wondered about you have to build those things like real sturdy, right?
Yeah. It's one guy just going up there bucket at a time.
Bucket.
Like,
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't even know how they get the water up there. That's a good question too.
essentially, we still don't know.
We still don't know.
We'll circle back to that. Okay. What are you the go-to person for in your family or social circles?
Do you know what cringe is? That
Okay.
yeah. It's I am, if you ask my 9-year-old, the world's greatest source of cringe.
I think that's what dads are supposed to do.
I couldn't agree more. I love it. It's, it's an important part of being a father.
For me, I think it's questions about what year something happened.
Oh, okay.
For whatever reason, it might just be like an OCD thing, but numbers were always very important to me. So I was always memorizing what years like certain albums came out and movies and stuff like that. And then it just became like a brain pattern.
That is true. I never thought about that. You are very good at that. That's true.
Thank you. Which is also funny because everything else having to do with numbers, I'm hot garbage at.
Yeah, you're bad at math, but you know
Yep.
when stuff happened. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
All
remarkable.
right, let's try this. Let's do let's
Oh shit.
let's do this right
This
now.
is not good.
Okay.
This is not good.
What year did Silence of the Lambs come out? I don't know the answer.
That would have been 1991, I'm
That's what I
guessing.
was gonna-
Maybe
I-
90.
I was gonna say 91 also, yeah.
91.
Yeah.
Anyone else? Come on, throw something out there. Go
Oh,
album
boy.
for him.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Van Halen OU812.
Is that was that the one with the angel on it? The little cherub?
Is that isn't
No.
no, isn't that 5150 that has the angel on it?
I don't know which Van Halen album it is. I can't picture the cover. Oh, that one. Wait. Shoot, that would have probably been like 86 or 86 or 88.
88.
Oh man. Whew.
Judges, we'll give it to you.
I
Ding,
think
ding,
you should.
thanks.
Yeah.
Give him something obscure, like when did Cumberland Farms open? I don't know.
Oh my God, I have no idea.
But it
I
has
don't
to be
have
something
actual
you care
knowledge.
about, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it has to be
Yeah.
something. Okay. Oh, this is a good one, and this is something I've been asking people because it's occurring in me. How old do you feel? I know that physically versus mentally. How old do you feel inside of your like soul?
Oh.
Depends on the activity I'm doing.
Yeah.
I
that's
think.
a-
Okay, let's take
100%.
let's take physicality out of it.
Okay. I would say early to mid 30s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But before that, I felt like I was in my 20s for a very long time. And then after the COVID years, I was like, I'm a decade older than I thought I was. But it's still a decade younger than I actually am. It's strange. It's hard to explain.
No, but
No, it's
that
not.
sentiment is what like I think a lot of people feel. It's hard to nail down, Brian.
Yeah, I feel like I was gonna say 30, basically, and I'm almost 50. I'll be 49 this year. So, but I feel mentally, etc., 30-ish.
Yeah. I encourage you to ask other people this, older, younger, because it is, I think, and I've asked younger people will say older all the time. And I think I was like that. If you asked me at 16, I'd be, I thought it was, it's like a pompous, like youth and arrogance thing. But now I think maturity wise, I'm hovering around 25. We're talking, I'm holding back jizz jokes, you know.
That's our
No,
job. Yeah.
this is a safe place.
Yes.
just I riddle on.
We took not being able to hold back just jokes and turned it into an actual career. Yeah.
Yeah. So great. But yeah, I encourage Abby. How about you? How old do you feel?
I was gonna say around 30.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like maybe just because I liked that time too. Like I got out of all the stupidness of like the younger years and started getting my shit together and was like, oh,
Mhm.
okay, it's not
Yes.
terrible. And then you get closer to like up 40 and you're like, oh, it's this forever. So great.
I honestly,
liked it then.
I work with a lot of people in their 20s or so, and I'm like, that was not a fun time for me. It's just so turbulent. Like
Yeah.
for me,
Mhm.
more so than teenage years. My 20s
Yeah.
were a lot more turbulent, and I don't miss it at all.
I think the 20s you experience, but like in your body, I think, yeah, I feel 25 because I'm still making those dumb jokes.
Hmm.
I still remember a conversation with my great grandma who died when I was 10. Um, and she was like maybe 89 or something like that. And I remember her saying, when because we were like playing cards or something like that. And she was like, when I look in the mirror, sometimes I'm like, who the hell is that? Like, who's this
Yeah.
old person? She was like, I still feel like I'm in my 20s for sure. So I guess it never really ends.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you take the physical part out of it, I think a lot of people would say that as long as they're still with it, like, oh yeah, damn. I feel like that often. I play basketball every Sunday, and then like there'll be a loose ball, and someone's like, "Go get it," and I was like, I wanted to go get it. Every part of me said, "Go get it," but my body didn't go get it.
I had to shovel while we were in Toronto. I took a little road trip and I got my car stuck in a little snowbank and I had to shovel it out. I thought my heart was going to explode. So that was a new experience for me.
I saw this meme the other day that was like pretty rude of my body to crack like a glow stick every morning when I get up, but refuse to glow. And I was like,
Uh,
I noticed that I started making grunting noises and not meaning to. Like
when
when
you
I
get
would
up,
move, it'd be like, oh, it's like, no, what? I didn't used to do that.
it's subconscious. You're like,
Yeah.
ugh.
Yeah.
I have to move again.
Yes.
I've
It's
moved
like
enough in my life.
It's like when I get excited to just see a chair. Like if you're somewhere and you're like, oh, I'm gonna go sit there. That
Mhm.
looks great.
Yeah.
God, what comedian, what was it? I can't remember. But he said something, he was making some kind of like observation like that. It's like, man, in your 20s, your friends are talking about like, oh, try these psychedelic mushrooms, man, they are fucking life changing. And then like at another point in like your 40s, you're like, bro, try these Dr. Scholl's foot insoles. They are fucking trippy as shit.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing I think all the time is, like you start having some more chronic problems often in your 40s, but people a lot older than we are. And, to them, like we're in the prime of life and everything's going great. So I try to think about that and be grateful for health and,
You're
that sort of
always
thing.
you're always the oldest you've ever been, and yet the youngest you'll ever be.
That's right.
So it's those two
Stop it.
competing.
That hurts my brain.
I know, but it is that competing like mental thing, and how you feel about everything sort of depends on which of those you buy into.
Mm-hmm.
It hurts.
I will say I love where I'm at. Like 40, like again, Abby was talking about putting the 20s or putting things behind you. Brian, you were talking about 20s being turbulent, where it's like, okay, now I have the mental capacity to wrap my head around all these crazy things and then also navigate them with confidence that I didn't have. So I'm personally in a good spot where I'm like, all right, I could do this, where it's not everything is like 20s, it's just panic. Like, 30s, it's like, oh, okay, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever used a Coinstar machine?
Yeah, sure.
I have not. I count them and roll them myself.
Really?
Oh yeah. I'm not paying a commission for that. Are you kidding me?
In my ultra poor New York days, right before I met Brian, my friends and I had a collective like bowl of change that we would only dip into if someone was starving and they needed like a sandwich or something.
Yeah, a handful, throw it in the Coinstar at the Gristedes or whatever you were buying.
Exactly. As a matter of fact, exactly. Because in fact, the place Brian and I got our start, the Upright Citizens Brigade Theater on 23rd, used to be underneath the Gristedes.
Oh, I remember.
And yeah. Oh yeah. So like our first, and their fridge used to leak through the floor and through the ceiling of the comedy club. So you'd be like performing and dodging like drops of dirt water like that would come from the nether world. It was so strange. But yeah, those were the Coinstar days, and at the end of every month we take all the change and dump it in, and then like all go to a movie. It was a big deal to us back then.
It was a big deal. Brian, so do either of you save your change? And if so, Brian, are you rolling up all our change?
You know what? I used to constantly have change, in my pockets all the time. And in the last, I don't know how many years now, I just don't have it as much as society gets more cashless, I just don't have as much change. But yeah, we have a change jar and we dump it in there. Kid has a bank. If I have errant change, I give it to her and she puts it in her bank, and then, we'll roll it up and etc. But that's the other thing. That's the other reason I don't like Coinstar is counting out and rolling up the change is like a family activity. So
that's
we
great.
can do that. I did that with my parents growing up. I do that with Audrey. Like it's like a little thing you can do with your kid,
That's fantastic though. No, I want to do that. Now I'm going to just go get a roll of quarters and dump it out. And be like, let's count this together.
I think it is very satisfying. You get the little roll, you put the first coin, you kind of,
you got to get it in there, right? Yeah.
That's right. You chub it up, you stick your finger in the bottom, you put the coin in, form a little floor, then drop them in just a couple at a time, and they stack up. You count them out beforehand, of course, so you can just do it mindlessly when you put them in the tube. And then you crunkle the ends together. I find that very, very satisfying and fun. And then you get a little stack of them. If you have a lot of change, you form a little pyramid out of it, and you can count how much change how much money you made out of nowhere. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Also really like the word crunkle, so thank you for that. Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you, but change is far too constrictive for my modern lifestyle now. No, I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. But there's one. I think once like society moved into tapping the credit card, that was like that was the end of change in a lot of ways. It was just like now we're just, it's too fast and too convenient to do it like this all the time. But my favorite experience with change, which no longer exists because of that, was going to video arcades where you'd have like a pocket full of quarters.
Yes.
And you're just like, yes, 4 hours of entertainment is in my hands right now. And one of the worst experiences of my life, which you no longer have to deal with, is when you would get change from like a bodega or something, and and the guy like would have it in his hands too long and he'd give it to you and it was like all warm and you're like,
Mhm.
oh. And honestly, I think that was another thing COVID kind of made everyone realize, like how dirty money is, and how many weird hands it's passed through. And I think that kind of nudged people more towards cards for everything as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's let's go back to cash. Let's get rid of all cards.
I like cash.
Hell yeah.
I like cash too. I try to keep some.
No, you don't.
I gave it to you.
I just
sure.
got some. We were just, as we mentioned, we were just in Toronto. I got some cash there, and I got to do a fun thing when I got home because I had some Canadian money. I was like, "Hey, Audrey, here's your allowance." She didn't think that was funny,
My
but I thought
parents
it was
did that
great.
to me once
Yeah.
too.
What do
and
I
was
do with these
like,
medallions?
Yep. Look, here's $5.
I was like, when am I going to Germany?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She
Canadian quarters were the worst because they were so similar to American quarters, and you put them in a soda machine and they get spit right back at you, and you're like, is this a joke?
You're like, how does it know?
Yeah,
The ridges,
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
I thought it was all weight.
just so you know, it's the ridges.
Did I ever tell you? I may have. I don't think I told this story last time we were on, but a couple years ago, it was probably actually 4 or 5 years ago, Audrey was playing with her fake money, which she has. She had like a fake wallet, and she pulled out a bill for 1 Romanian leu, and I was like, "Where did you get Romanian currency, Audrey?" And she was like, "Around."
Never ask me about my business, Dad.
Yeah. And I, to this day, have no idea where she got paper Romanian money. And it's in her wallet. And something happened to get this from Romania to my then probably 6-year-old's wallet. What that sequence of events was, couldn't tell you. No idea.
It's a reminder of her past life. Don't worry
Yeah,
about
exactly. Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Importer exporter is how she
She's
describes
like,
herself.
yeah. Why don't you keep that and keep your mouth shut, Dad?
Yeah.
Speaking of money, what's the best thing you've ever splurged on?
Oh, that's a good question. Splurge.
We all have different definitions of splurging, like
Yeah.
this is the fun question.
You know what? Actually, I have it on the wall here. Hold on.
Ooh,
Oh, that's exciting.
that is exciting.
Yeah, I can't give an answer right now. I have to let this resolve.
All right. In the early days of eBay, when you could look for stuff, I would mostly look for Devo and Oingo Boingo stuff. I got a signed copy of the first Mojo Nixon and Skid Roper album. Huge fan of Mojo
Wow.
Nixon. I didn't even own a turntable at the time I got this, but you can see his signature is right there. And Mojo, I believe it says Gnarly Nixon. I forget exactly what I paid for this, but it was a lot for me at the time. I don't think this album was even released on CD or something like that, but yeah, I have it.
You paid in
framed on the wall.
change. You mailed change to the eBay
Yes.
person. Like,
Yeah, exactly. That's right.
gotta roll
Change
these
I wrote
quarters.
myself. Yeah.
That's
this
super
is-
cool though.
Oh yeah, there's Skid Roper right there too. Mojo Nixon, a very influential artist for me as a comedy musician. I'm a huge fan. Danny knows this. I talk about Mojo Nixon a lot. But I love his albums. His Christmas album, Horny Holidays, is maybe the best Christmas album of all time.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Tough to follow that.
Yeah, very tough to follow.
You're like this
I-
espresso machine.
Yeah. No, I have I went to Venice last year, and they have a lot of cool glass blowing stuff there, and there's this blue glass rabbit, and I just kept looking at it. I was like, man, that's cool, but I do not need a functionless glass rabbit just sitting, in the house. And so I let it go, and like half an hour later, I was still thinking about it, and my wife was like, "You're still thinking about that rabbit, aren't you? Like, just get it, man." And so we went back, and I got it, and every day I look at it, and I'm like, I love you, rabbit. It's like the weirdest thing. Like it just
Sometimes
I
things just speak to you.
yeah, I don't know what it is, but like sometimes stuff has like a spirit to it, or it sparks something in you, and like you can't really explain why you love it so much. You're just drawn to it.
Great answer. Fucking A. I agree. Yeah. Sometimes stuff just gets you.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't have a good segue because it was so poetic, both of y'all's answers. So we're just gonna go straight to the next one. What's one song you hear that just makes you happy no matter where you are, no matter what you're doing?
Bob James, Angela, aka the theme from Taxi.
Nice. How often are you hearing that? You hearing
A
that in the
lot.
grocery store?
Well, no, I play it
Okay.
a lot. I love Bob James.
Can I get back to you on that one?
Yeah. It's a
Okay,
tough
it's
question.
gonna hit me.
It's a tough on the spot question.
Like it's bottlenecking.
Yeah. It could be this, could be that.
Oh, you know what it is? It's Salisbury Hill by Peter Gabriel.
Oh,
Like
nice.
that.
Yeah.
Especially because it then became a cliche for like all these different like rom-com movies.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
yeah.
I don't know if you've ever seen they took The Shining and re-edited the trailer to make it look like a
The
rom-com.
famous one, yeah.
Yeah, it's great. So it
Okay.
becomes
Writing this
like
down.
that's worth looking up. But of course, it's Danny like peering, and he's about to see like the horrific like dead woman in the hotel room, but like the voiceover is like, sometimes what we're looking for is just around the corner.
Yeah.
Shining. It's so funny. It's good.
It's a really good one. I think that was Chocolate Cake City, right? That Emerson sketch group that did that.
I don't know
And it started this, it went viral and started this whole like thing of like re-editing trailers, to be different genres. It's a classic. It's a really, really good one.
Oh man, I can't wait to watch.
Ditto.
Yeah. I'm seeing it in my head. It's all playing.
It's great.
This is a great segue. Who do you want to play you in the Ninja Sex Party movie?
Dan.
Denzel Washington.
Great answer.
They've thought about this one before.
No, probably Finn Wolfhard.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a buddy of ours, and like obviously he played like younger me in one of our videos anyway.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it seems like it would make sense.
Great. Ryan?
I stand by my answer. I want Dan to play me.
Oh, I thought you were
I thought you were just asking me to answer first.
Oh no,
No,
that
I
was my
took it
answer.
as he wanted it to be Dan.
Oh, okay.
I was
cool.
very happy with that. Yeah.
So it would be me playing you and Denzel Washington as me.
That's
Yes.
correct.
But halfway
love
through
that.
it
Absolutely.
switches to Finn Wolfhard.
Yeah, it's a real Lost Highway type situation.
Yeah, it's just it's also similar. Always
Face
Sunny.
hurts.
Always Sunny. They do the Lethal Weapon remake, and then
Yes.
halfway
Yeah.
through the remake, he's like, "I want to be Murtaugh."
Yeah.
Oh, that's fun. We need to make that happen. And I just want to be like a janitor on the set and watch what happens on that movie. Okay, what is something other people find gross but does not bother you?
Other people find gross, but doesn't.
The word moist.
Yeah, that's one where it's such a meme at this point. I've never understood. I feel like
Mhm.
it's just a thing people say. Although,
Yeah,
well, I'm
it
sure
never
there's some-
bothered me.
Yeah, same. You know what? Here's one, like reaching into the drain to like get the gunk food from the thing, like the drain stopper that prevents the food from going into the drain to like clean it out, get all that mushy
Oh.
food, like dump it into
Yeah,
the
yeah.
trash. I
Yeah.
don't care. I'll do that any day. I mean,
I used to live with two people who refused to do that. I was the only one that would do that.
Yeah, it's just like, I don't know, it's not awesome. I don't seek it out, but it doesn't bother me.
Like, give it that drain gunk.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, I don't mind. Like, I don't have the strongest sense of smell, so like anything requiring that, like, unless it's like really strong, then obviously. But like, a lot of people in my family have a ridiculously strong sense of smell, and they all agree that it's a horrible curse because there's so many things that smell worse than that smell good, you know?
I also, well, I did before COVID. Like my doctor was like, we're going to run tests on you. This is out of control. Like how strong your sense of smell is. Like I
Wow.
could smell fruit rotting like several days before it like shows you like the mold and stuff. And so I get that. It's true.
That's why they all hate it.
COVID dumbed it down for me a little bit though. And I'm like, oh, is this what a normal person's life is like?
Silver linings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another one for me is bugs. I love bugs.
Love bugs.
Yeah,
Nice.
love bugs,
Even spiders?
especially spiders.
Whoa.
Yeah, spiders don't bother me. Spiders
You
don't-
picking them
well,
up? You moving
Yeah.
them outside?
I mean, I like, because I don't want to get bitten, I won't necessarily just pick up a rando spider, but I will. We have a little bug catcher, and with if Audrey and I see a big spider or a cool one, we'll go grab it and like look at it, and then release it out to the wild. I never kill spiders. Like, you always catch and release.
Catch and release spiders. How many spiders do you think you've swallowed in your life?
On purpose or by accident?
Well, now I'm curious
What's
about
the
on purpose.
over-under?
So let's
I mean, probably not as many as you would think, I would guess. But I mean, I guess what that means is there's one way of thinking about that question, which is, do I look like the kind of guy that swallowed a lot of spiders? And then the answer is probably less than you think. That's not what I mean. What I mean is probably people say, oh, we've all swallowed a lot of spiders. But I don't think we've swallowed that many.
I don't think so either. I think they're smart enough to like they don't go near the breathing monster hole,
Yeah,
Like,
that's right. But gnats, I probably swallowed a bunch of like
Oh,
gnats and
that's the
stuff, right?
worst.
Yeah.
The worst.
oh yeah, that is. Dan, do you ride a bike ever?
I do.
Yeah, and do you have gnats in LA?
That's where I do most of my gnat swallowing, actually.
I was gonna say, but it also gets stuck. I don't know if you put your hair back or anything, because when I ride my bike in Florida, gnats all over the sidewalk, all
Sure.
in my beard.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, never thought of that. No, I just stuff the hair up into a helmet,
Oh,
and then yeah, so it's all right.
No gnats.
just gnats in your eyes.
A gnat-free experience.
Oh, how was your bike ride? It was gnat-free experience. Okay. What's the fundamental difference between karate, taekwondo, jiu-jitsu, and so on?
This is a great way to set us up for total failure, and I appreciate you asking the question. I'm not a martial arts guy. I don't know.
I think they come from different countries, right?
We were just
That
trying
was
to-
my thought.
Yeah. They all do have different specialties. There was one.
What are the four again? Say them again. Karate, jujitsu.
karate, taekwondo, jiu-jitsu. That's all I came up with. Ninjas.
This is something that I was
Kung
told,
Fu.
so I have
Kung
no
Fu.
idea if it's correct or not. But I believe I think jujitsu is more grappling.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I think taekwondo is more kicks, like high kicks, because it was
Mhm.
meant to like combat people on horseback. So like the kicks to like knock them off their horses.
Man.
Capoeira was like a Brazilian. It mixes dance with martial arts because the peasants weren't allowed to study martial arts, so they would like
yeah.
disguise it as dancing. So they wouldn't like their oppressors wouldn't know that they were like planning a rebellion. So there are differences, but I honestly don't know much beyond that.
Go ahead, Brian.
I was gonna say, is jujitsu different than Brazilian jiu-jitsu? I assume when people say Brazilian jiu-jitsu, that's because it's a form of jiu-jitsu.
Well, they wax you and
Right.
then fight
Yes,
you.
of course. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
hmm
I love that right now someone is listening to this and screaming their face
they're
off
so
the
mad.
differences. Right.
Yes.
No, that's not it.
Do you want the answer?
Yes.
Please.
Jujitsu. Okay, wait. Jujitsu is grappling while the others are striking.
Okay, sweet.
Oh,
So yeah,
Okay.
Dan,
All right.
Dan the karate man.
Which I did not know.
Thanks.
I Googled that as Ryan asked that question because I was like, what is this? But there you go.
Yeah.
I do like it when you ask us answers that can easily be looked up, so we can like make total asses of ourselves as we.
That's the best
that's right.
part.
Yes.
blindly stumble our way through.
We're learning.
We can
We
learn
are
a little
learning.
bit.
Yeah.
That's good.
So, like we were saying to Brian earlier, it's like we're so many episodes in. The biggest hurdle is thinking of new questions. And the best way to do it is think about like what you experience first, and then also what you don't know at all. So it's like coming up with these dumb questions about like the Coinstar. I love the Coinstar in New York as well. And then be like, this is a universal thing. Whether you use it or not, you have a stance on it. Like Brian.
Yep.
Also, we try to really focus in on certain things. And back to your awesome band name, Ninja. I was like, what can we ask about like ninja shit, without being like on the nose and lame. So that's what we came up with.
Cool.
Cool.
What do people wrongly assume about you?
For me, because I play a homicidal maniac, they assume that I'm just an asshole. And, I think I haven't done myself any favors in this regard, because also my favorite form of comedy is playing a character who's an arrogant jerk. And I think that's very funny when people do that in kind of a buffoonish way. But then if I, if I play that up too much, people are like, "Wow, what a dickbag." So
Yeah, I
what
think
would
that's
say.
right. I think just thinking that we're the characters that we play,
Yeah.
for laughs. When we almost picked those character types because they're the complete opposite of who we are, and it was funnier to us that way.
Yeah, I think I agree. I see what you're saying. And someone's like, oh, they're in this band, Ninja Sex Party. But then like, Brian's a dad, a doting dad, shit like that. I think is fascinating. The fans right now are just like loving this. Ninja Sex Party fans. They're going to accost me on the street next time I go to that Greek place.
Sweet.
I'm so excited to ask this one. Do you have a book recommendation for us?
Oh,
I knew
so
it.
many.
What are you into?
I'm not giving you
All
that
of
one.
it.
All of it.
Okay.
Well, I can just start spouting things off. But
Sure.
Dan, if you want to, here's a book that I feel like not enough people read, and I loved this book so much. It's called The Revisionaries by A.R. Moxon. Came out, I don't know, 3 or so years ago. Real long book, real long. And it is, I literally, I don't want to tell you anything about it. It's fiction, and the less you know going in, the happier you'll be. It's just awesome.
Yes.
And I thought it's really fun. You know, I actually, I don't want to tell you anything about it. So just highly recommended, long book, totally worth it. And whatever you think is going on is not what's going on. So that's the first one that occurs.
Can't wait to add it to this never diminishing stack of books on my nightstand.
I'll also throw on top of that is a fun collection of essays by a writer I really like, Heather Havrilesky, called "What If This Were Enough." And she has a number of books. She's like a blogger, a famous blogger who's been around for a while. A very snarky, funny writer who is also, I think, very emotionally honest. I love her writing, and her. This is just a collection of I don't know if it's all online writing or mostly online writing, but I love her writing, and this is a good collection of hers.
Amazing. Dan?
My favorite book of all time is The Last Unicorn, by Peter Beagle. It's a fantasy book from the 60s that was made into a
Super creepy movie.
super creepy and my favorite movie. I
Me too.
fucking love that movie. It I think Alan Arkin and Mia Farrow were like, I don't know. It just,
It was
there's a
so
ton of
good.
nostalgia involved, but also it really stands on its own as just beautiful. Very life affirming stuff. And what I'm reading right now that I'm really enjoying is Geddy Lee from Rush, his memoir, My
Oh,
Effin'
cool.
Life, which
Oh.
is like insanely honest and so so true to the experience of being in a band, in 100 different ways, and very, very relatable. And I don't know. I just also heavy, extremely heavy at times, because he also talks about like what his parents and grandparents went through in the Holocaust and stuff like that, and how it shaped him. So there's just like these real heavy lows to the point where you're like, God damn, I need a minute to keep going with this. And there are other parts that are so funny and so delightful, and I don't know, I'm loving it. And if you don't feel like reading it, you can listen to it on Spotify, where he just reads it as an audiobook, and that in some ways is even better.
Man, I love when episodes end and I'm like, I can't wait to do homework. Yeah, for real
Welcome
though.
to
I'm
my
like,
life.
yeah.
Mhm.
I
I'm
love
like,
it.
ooh, can't wait to listen to this. Can't wait to do that. Go ahead.
My
Sorry.
mom brought up The Last Unicorn this weekend.
No kidding.
I don't know if so Ryan and I went to this like record fair, and at it they had this thing called the Blockbuster Experience, and it is literally a Blockbuster video. Like
Love that.
you just like walk in and they've got the shelves and the movies and like everything there. And we were telling my parents about it. My mom, that's her memory of Blockbuster, is that how often my sister and I would ask for that movie when we were kids.
It's so good. And it's
So
funny too,
good.
because that movie, they tried to retrofit it, the cover later, to make it look like it was for like little girls. It's got like the big rainbow and butterflies on it. And it's not.
It's
It's a
not.
movie about like death, isolation, despair, and it's
Oh,
it's
I
so
can't
good.
wait.
It's
It's so
so
good.
intense. But that was it every single time. We were like, we want The Last Unicorn. And my mom's like, we just watched that a week ago. Pick something else. And we're like, no.
That's how I was with Young Guns. Not even kidding.
Young
Oh,
Guns
She's like,
is
can we get
great.
Young Guns? Can we watch? And I'm like 10. And I'm like, oh, I want to watch Young Guns. And then Young Guns 2 came out.
1989's Young Guns? I'm just kidding.
Bravo. Oh,
It
bravo.
might be 88.
When was Young Guns 2?
Oh fuck,
Oh,
that would have
yeah,
been
that's a
90,
good
right?
question. It must have
Yeah.
been at least 90.
Stand by.
I'm nervous.
What's 90?
Yeah.
Yep.
Why is this taking up so much space in my brain?
We say this a lot too. I don't know how you guys feel, but when you meet someone who, when you say something that you're like, especially it's a deep cut pop culture music reference, and someone else doesn't get it, you have this moment of like this, like two things. You're like, how come you don't know that? Oh, wait a minute, I'm the weirdo for knowing it. Most people don't have this encyclopedic knowledge of like who made this thing or directed that thing or what year. Yeah, we're the weirdos.
It's so strange, and like the little like games your brain plays to like stay like just interested, or when your mind wanders, you don't realize how different and individualized those things are. Because I would do, that's why I know the years for everything. I would just sit there and be like, okay, Pink Floyd albums. 1970 was Atom Heart Mother. 1971 was Metal. 1973 was Dark Side of the Moon. Like I would just sit there and do that like it was something to do. I don't know why.
No phones to, you know.
I guess
Also,
a little
yeah.
bit.
Yeah. Okay, what's something you don't get to do very often, but that you love doing?
Sleep.
Fair answer.
That's a good answer for me. Honestly, like, I mean, musically, I will say, this make me sound like a complete tool. Like arranging for like a big band, like jazz arranging.
Oh, cool.
It's not part of my current like thing that I'm doing. It's what I kind of studied in college, and I love doing it. And there's just literally no call for me to do it anymore. There's no
Yeah.
outlet for it, but it's so fun, and it's just I love big band jazz, especially like more modern stuff. And there's just no real opportunity to do it with the kind of ensembles I work with now.
You know what? I do have an answer actually. Skiing. I don't get to ski at all, but I freaking love it.
Wow.
I didn't know that. I didn't know you were
Exactly,
a
because I
skiing
haven't had a
enthusiast.
chance in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
but I mean, my parents used to take me skiing all the time when I was a kid. Also, like when you're a kid, like you can take tumbling falls no problem.
Yeah.
And now I'm
Yeah.
like, fuck, I can't tear an ACL. Like we have to go on tour, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Did you guys go to Vernon Valley?
Vernon Valley, Great Gorge,
That's
you
the
know it.
one. Yep.
That's
Same.
the jam.
Yep.
Oh, that's incredible. Good answers, fellas. Okay, so a couple more questions. One is I'm gonna switch this around. You can only choose one of these. These nuts, or that's what she said.
Um,
As in, for the rest of our lives, we can only use one of those jokes.
Sure.
I think that's what she said is more versatile.
I'll take D's nuts.
Great.
Yeah. That way we've got everything covered between the two of us.
Yeah, you can be
That's what she said.
Nice.
See?
Good stuff.
That's what she said. Man. New record. These nuts.
These nuts.
We're ending every episode with a song from the guests. Is there a song from these nuts that you want us to end the episode with? And why?
Dan, do you want to take this one?
I would say Let's Save the Earth because it's my favorite.
Yeah.
Didn't really think it through much more deeply than that.
I totally agree with you. I feel like that is one of our best songs. I think it's funny. I love the music for it. It was fun to play live. I agree with you. I think it's a good choice.
Great. I can't wait. The record comes out March 8th.
March 8th.
Correct? March 8th. These nuts
Yep.
ninja sex
International
party.
Nut Day.
That's what she said.
Now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Oh man, it's so fun and easy. We could keep going. I'm 41.
You know what I never realized is that it comes out on 3/8/24, and 3 times 8 is 24. That's fucking
Damn
good,
Okay,
right?
Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I just put that together.
3/8/24. These nuts.
Yeah.
Okay. What musician, live or dead, would you want to interview in the same vein as Bothering the Band? So silly, subversive, idiotic questions.
So the real question is, do we want someone who would be down with it or super not down with it? Because both of those might be really fun.
Well, let me tell you, we've had both of those things, and one is not fun.
I mean, I said him before. I'm a Mojo Nixon fan. I'd like to interview Mojo Nixon.
Great.
Like that. I think he
Bringing
would
it
have lots
back.
of wild responses.
I think Kurt Cobain or Lane Staley, they were like probably my two first favorite vocalists. And there's so many things written about them and interviews and articles still coming out to this day, but like they were gone so early, and I don't know. I think it would have been fun. It was sort of before the times when there were interviews like this, like if you got an interview with them, it had to be like ask the Rolling Stones questions, that would probably come down from like on high.
So what would you ask them?
That's a really good question. I don't know. I have a whole new respect for you both now, seeing how difficult this is.
You get it,
Yeah.
What's your
Shit's
grocery
tough.
store habits,
Yeah.
Do you follow a pattern or do you just go off? Like, what do you do? Do you go the same day every week?
I like questions of the one we started out with, like, what's the best worst blank?
Mhm.
Like finding that sweet spot, the best band with the worst name, best cheap beer, that kind of stuff. I'm always interested in those.
I guess best shitty 80s movie would be
Oh, that's
one.
a good question.
I feel like you can tell a lot about someone. based on that.
What's your answer?
Yeah, what's your
Mine?
answer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so many.
I guarantee you, whatever shitty 80s movie you're going to say is we're all going to be like, that's a great movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I always loved like Police Academy 5, Assignment Miami Beach.
Oh, that
you
is
know?
a very good choice. Yeah.
I mean, it's got to be objectively terrible, but like,
Yep.
how do you not feel good when you watch it?
For
I-
me, it's
I-
yeah.
Go ahead,
Brian.
Bryce. Sorry.
I
No,
was
no,
gonna-
no.
Midnight Madness, the like was on HBO constantly in the 80s
Yeah.
and spawned a whole genre of like puzzle hunt type games. As Michael J. Fox, he was like 12 in it, baby Michael J. Fox for like a couple scenes. Fucking love Midnight Madness, and it's bad. Like, yeah,
I feel like we all grew up in this similar time of like cable and whatever movies cable played. We were so limited. So I think
Yeah.
in that limit, we were forced to watch all these crazy things. And Abby and I talk about this now. Like there's so much content and so many shows and great shows, and where there's no need to go backward. There's no need to be forced into watching like Green Acres or Police Academy
wow.
5 because
Yeah.
you're like, this is all I got. And you're like, this is pretty good, you know? And I'm not commenting on if it's good or bad. But I think we were forced to, contemplate these shitty movies more.
and even the shitty ones have stuff that is really awesome.
Yeah. Like
Oh, yeah.
Porky's too.
Yep. I've seen Critters 2 like 100 times because it was always on TV. And
Always
now
on.
I love it.
All of
and I
the
don't...
Tremors.
All of
Yes,
them.
Tremors
well,
is-
Tremors is awesome.
Am
Tremors
I
is
remembering
fucking
correctly
great.
that the subtitle Porky's 2 was Porky's 2 the next day? Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And then it was Tremors 2 Aftershocks.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Tremors is great. Tremors is
Tremors-
legitimately a great film.
T to B.
Fred Ward.
So
I
good.
love Fred Ward. Talk about an underrated actor.
Just passed
always
away,
great.
right?
Just passed away. He'll always be Remo Williams to me. That's a good shitty 80s movie.
Yeah.
Remo Williams, The Adventure Begins, a movie so unsuccessful that the adventure stopped the moment they released.
Then it never
movie.
continued.
Yeah.
Man. We could talk about movies and this stuff all day long. Okay. You're touring, right? You said you're touring?
Well, we don't have any concrete plans yet. But
Okay.
soon, at some point, in the near future, we will be touring again. But
To
that-
Florida. You'll come to Florida. We'll come hang out. We'll buy you
Awesome.
some.
Yes, please.
Sweet.
We'll use our Coinstar money to buy you some coffees.
That's right. Great.
Oh, that's great. But what's next for Ninja Sex Party? Tell the people.
Well, we just got back from Danny.
Toronto.
Where were we, Danny?
Flew on a plane to get there.
And recorded Danny.
I can't think of anything but the truth. It was a new cover album. So we've been alternating cover albums and original albums for years now. So once that comes out, we'll just get back to work on another original album after this one and head on tour again. Honestly, like, I think it's fair to say NSP has gone a lot farther than Brian and I ever could have possibly imagined when we started.
Yeah, there was like a 5-block radius in New York that we assumed we'd be stuck in. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like full house money mode now, and it's just like, let's just keep this going for as long as we have good, fun ideas, and it's cool and enjoyable. So
Because we are merely 2 weeks away from the 15th anniversary of when we started this band.
Wow.
And that's, when you think about how long most bands last, it's pretty nuts to think that, some of the most legendary bands out there we have outlasted just in terms of number of years we've been doing it.
Yeah.
So
Alice in
it's-
Chains, Nirvana.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. The Beatles were
yeah.
only together for 8 years.
Oh,
We're about
wow.
to double up on them.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
So you heard it here, folks. Ninja Sex Party just claimed better than the Beatles.
I didn't say better. I said
we-
twice as good.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Just kidding.
Thank you. Beat me
Just
to it. Yeah.
Oh,
Better
God.
and more popular. Yeah.
Oh man, well, you guys are so prolific. We'll see you on the 4th go around, Brian. Next, if you want to come back and talk about the cover album, we'll be happy to have you. You are not just guests on the pod. You are pals, buddies.
Yeah, truly.
We love you. We love you. Not
I
even
love you guys. You're the best.
Feelings
And,
mutual.
Hopefully we'll see you in person sometime soon.
The earth has so many problems, but I know that we can solve them all right. Just need to work together and we'll start to make it better tonight. The forests will grow anew, the oceans will gleam their crystal blue, and when our work is done, there's only one question I have for you. Is your mom single? Is your mom free tonight? The stars are shining, the moon is bright, as my and your mom's souls unite. Let's save the earth. Let's save the earth. Let's save the earth. It's up to a generation, and people from every nation get mad. Let's make sure we all recycle, like your mom could cycle in a new dad.
We're emitting more and more greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. The polar ice caps are melting. Global temperatures are rising at an alarming rate. We need to reduce, reuse, recycle every day. Do you think you could eventually learn to love me as a father instead of just as your karate instructor?
Is your mom single? Is your mom free tonight? The planet's struggling, may I be snuggling your mom by candlelight? We could ride away on a horse and carriage. She'd be down with an open marriage. So hear my plea, keep the planet clean, make my bars less blue and the trees more green. Think globally, act locally. Think globally, act locally. Let me take your love. Let me take your love. I wanna take your love.
Hey, Timmy. Karate practice is over. Let's go home.
Hi, Mrs. Johnson. Do you like karate and also believe that we should save the planet? Okay, bye.
That went well.